listening to the Marketing Personalities Podcast, a podcast for growth-minded entrepreneurs that serves up valuable insight and interviews about aligning your marketing strategy with your personality type. Because here's the deal. You shouldn't have to feel fake and salesy in order to grow your business. And you no longer have to. Your marketing strategy can feel good to implement and it can work. You can attract the right clients and customers to your business and grow your profits, all while staying true to who you naturally are. So in the name of honest business growth, bring your unique talents, perspectives, and personality to the table. And join us on this week's podcast episode to discover marketing that feels good for you. Welcome to this episode of the Marketing Personalities Podcast. I'm Britt Colo, the founder of marketingpersonalities.com and your host. Today kicks off our very first episode in a 3-episode series where I am speaking with Len Marketing, who is the CMO of one of my favorite companies and my favorite tools that I use in business, Podia. Now, I've been mentioning Podia in my podcast episodes over the last few weeks, and I've announced at the beginning of the year that Podia is now the sponsor of this podcast, which is so freaking exciting, you guys, right? We've never had a sponsor like this before, and it's a great up level for the company and honestly for me. So that being said, you should also know that I don't just say that Podia is one of my favorite companies and favorite tools that I use in my business. I absolutely mean it when I say it. I've been using Podia since I went back and I saw when I opened up my account. I've been using Podia since April of 2018. So almost 2 years now at this point. And at every single point in that journey, I have been wowed by Podia and honored to be a paying user of their platform. So listen, you're going to hear a lot about this brand and this platform over the next few weeks. And I want you to know that everything you hear about Podia is so genuine. I really do believe in this company, and I believe it's a solution that so many of my listeners, that's you, right? So many of you could love and leverage and succeed in business by using Podia. So that's my spiel. Okay, now we got to get into what we're really here to talk about today, and that is to get a full rundown of what the heck Podia is, who the heck this guy Len is, and in all of this awesomeness, like what's his role in this, and what Podia does, and what our favorite features are, and et cetera, et cetera. There's so much to get into in this first episode of the series. So, hey, let's get going here. Len, first of all, hey, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me and for all the very, very kind words about Podia. You are an OG Podia customer, April 2018. Awesome.
Yeah, OG over here. So let's start off by getting an understanding of what Podia actually is. Could you give us a snapshot into what Podia is, what it does, who it serves?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Podia serves creative entrepreneurs, anybody who wants to make money off of their passion, their skills by selling digital products like courses, downloads, memberships, but doesn't want to duct tape together 5 or 10 different pieces of software to make it happen. So we host and sell your courses, your downloads, your memberships, your email marketing, your affiliate marketing, basically everything you need to run your business.
Yeah, boom, right there. It does all of that stuff. And I like how you say for the creative entrepreneur that wants to do all those things and doesn't want to duct tape all the things together. I think that's super common. I mean, it's hard to kind of imagine this. I wonder if you think this way too. I've had this conversation with some of my friends. It's hard to imagine, but this whole online entrepreneurship game is so new. It is so in its infancy. If you've been around for any amount of time, like longer than a year in this game, there have been so many tools to come and go, and you might have used some in the past. Then you tried to kind of like you said, duct tape that together with the new thing. And then this thing comes in and then you switched over to that thing. And it gets to be quite an integrative mess. And Podia allows us to wipe that slate clean in a lot of ways. And so we don't have to duct tape things together. I like how you explain that. So tell us about your role in the company. What do you do?
Sure, I am the chief marketing officer. So I serve the marketing team and make sure that everybody who's trying to connect us with the creators that we want to serve has everything they need and doesn't have any obstacles in their way. So I am the chief marketing officer, but before I joined the team, I was actually a customer. So I'm also a Podia creator and the chief marketing officer of Podia.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. So can you give us an idea of what the Podia team looks like right now? Obviously, like we don't need to go into everyone's name, but how big is the team right now? Who else is kind of in this with you?
Sure thing. So we have 20 people on the team. About half of us are on product development and the other half are on marketing. And the marketing team is really in charge of, in a typical organization, the marketing team is in charge of running ads and doing all that good stuff. But our team is actually heavily focused on education. And, it's hard for a lot of people getting into this world of online entrepreneurship. It's not just the tech and the duct tape that scares people. It's, a lot of people have a lot of concerns and a lot of fears about taking the leap. I know I did, when I first started selling courses. And we see our job as marketers as making that leap a lot easier and educating people and making sure that everybody has all the resources they need, not just the software that they need to make it happen.
That definitely stands out to me because not every platform that says that they do some of this kind of stuff like that we can think of, they don't necessarily focus on education. And I think that says something about the brand. It's not just about getting their ads in front of your face 24/7 and making you be like, "Oh my gosh, fine, I'll sign up. Like just stop showing me ads." But it's more than that. I would say from my vantage point, it's education on how to do the thing, but also encouragement in that you can do the thing. I've seen that a lot from Podia's message. And I've seen that in myself and I've seen that in my listeners, that encouragement piece being really necessary. I mean, because we can go down the rabbit hole and figure out, quote unquote, how to do all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, if we don't really believe that we can make it happen, either on like the physical technical side or on the mindset side, I mean, we're still not doing it, right? And so I see both of those coming out of your content. How do you educate? Like what are your channels from your marketing departments and what are your channels that you really focus on the most?
So we have a few different ways that we put out our educational content. So we have our blog that's just at podia.com/articles. We publish usually 2 to 4 articles a week there. We have an amazing content team that puts out that content. We have a YouTube channel now, and you can get to that by just going to podia.com/YouTube. We've been putting out videos for a couple of months now. We have an amazing video creator, Ben Tolson, who just does some of the best video content for online creators out there. And if you go check out that YouTube channel, you'll also find some Easter eggs, like a music video that we released in December.
Oh, I have missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go find that. All right.
Yeah. We have the music video. We have a podcast at podia.com/podcast. Our podcast is called I Made It. And it's also focused very much like a lot of our content is. And like you mentioned, which I'm really glad you picked up on, that journey from day one, where we interview creators at different stages, but people who have essentially made it, quote unquote. But what that journey looked like from day one, and what even the hard times really looked like, because that's one of the big differences of online entrepreneurship, right? If you're working on a team in an office, or if you're playing sports on a team, you have all these people around you to elevate you and that show you that it can be done and that can nurture and support you. But online entrepreneurship, it's a very solo game by default for so many people. And so we kind of see that as our job. And I know you see that as your job by creating communities like yours, where it doesn't have to be a solo game and you can support each other and nurture each other. And that's a big part of getting people over that fear.
Yeah. I'm here for that. That was kind of a really brilliant segue. I don't know how you knew to do that, but let's go back into Podia's history because you didn't start out with a 20-person team and with a blog and a podcast and all these users and all of these features. So before we get into all of what Podia is right now in its current form, take us back and tell us about the startup journey of Podia. How and when did it get started? And how has the company gotten to here?
Sure. So Podia was actually founded a long time before people think it was. So it was started in 2014, and it went through a couple of different iterations early on. So Spencer, he's our founder CEO. He originally launched it as a platform for GMAT tutors to put their content online, schedule their tutoring sessions, sell their courses, sell their sessions. And what became clear pretty quickly, because the online entrepreneurship market was very, very young at that time. What became clear very quickly was that there were these people who were coming and using the platform that had nothing to do with GMAT tutoring. And so the realization was, hey, a lot of people can find this valuable. There's this growing market of people who are creating and just earning a living from their passion. And we can serve them and empower a lot more people that way. And so the company switched to serving creators of all kinds in 2015. And in 2017, that was when I joined the team, the company was actually called something different before Podia. It was called Coach.
Mm.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty big challenge to compete for search rankings with the biggest purse brand in the world. And so we changed the name from Coach to Podia at that time. And we added memberships to the product offerings. And that's kind of when we really committed to not just being a course platform, but to being this all-in-one platform that takes care of all of the technical needs. Because what we kept hearing over and over and over again is, I want to do this, but I'm overwhelmed by the tech. And so that was when we decided, all right, well, we're just going to put all the tech in one place, make things easy. And that's where we've been since 2017.
Yeah. Okay. That's really good. And smart, may I say, smart to kind of change the name so you can be actually found on the internet.
Yeah. And I don't think Coach.com was ever going to be for sale.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. No, there's a very small chance of that. It's encouraging to hear that even a company like Podia, it started out as something technically totally different. I mean, it was an education platform, but not for creative entrepreneurs. And that's the truth of how we all develop over time and find the people that we are meant to serve, whether that's super clear on day one or it's not. Love it. That's cool. So now, today, what is Podia on mission to do?
We are on a mission to empower creative entrepreneurs. So people who 10 years ago could not have made a living selling things online to people all over the world using their passion and their expertise. Today they can, and we're on a mission to make that possible.
Mm. Listeners, do you hear why I love this company so much? Like, is it becoming clearer? And why I think it's such a good fit for so many of you? Okay, so let's dig into the actual features and capabilities of Podia so the listeners can start to see how it might help them in their businesses. Not only offer and sell digital stuff, for a lack of a better term, but just their digital stuff, but do it in a way that's easy and that feels good to them. So tell us about the main core features of Podia. What does it allow us to do?
Sure. So the main feature of Podia is this idea of a storefront. And that's where everything that you might want to sell gets sold. If you look at a lot of the products out there, the main feature of the product might be the online course or the digital download or the membership. For us, it's the storefront. And what that allows us to do is be really flexible about the different ways that we let creators monetize their skills and their passion. And so when you sign up for Podia, you get a storefront. You can put whatever you'd like on it. You can sell online courses. You can sell your downloads. You can give away your downloads or your online courses. A lot of people are using them as lead magnets. You can host a membership community and build your tribe. You can run all of your email marketing. So we have an email marketing platform built into Podia that's actually getting a huge facelift right now. And it's going to be brand new in April. So that's going to be very, very exciting. And we also have live chat widgets available for every single storefront on every single plan. So if you want to offer live chat support, if you want to interact with your visitors, interact with your customers, you can do that too. That's kind of what we see as the five main features: the courses, downloads, memberships, email, and messaging.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to dig into all of it, but that would take too long. Listeners, just to kind of give you a heads up, Our episode number 2, that's going to go live next week, number 148, that episode is where we're going to dig into all of these features that Len just outlined for us and seriously lay out what personality types will be most natural at leveraging and using each of these features. So once you get into Podia and you start clicking around and you start using it and you start imagining how you can leverage it for your business, you can get hyper focused on the things that are already developed for you and with you in mind, right? I mean, yeah, sell your digital downloads, sell your courses, host a membership. We've talked about this how many times now? We, based on our personality type, like to sell different things. And so this is a great platform that allows you to sell a bunch of different things. Plus, it's got these things like email marketing and live chats. Live chats, I'll tell you right now, I haven't started using it yet, but now that you reminded me that it was there, I was like, oh dang, that's right. I want to get in there and make that a thing. Okay, so there's lots of features in there. Now, this is going to feel like an aside, but I have to ask, Len, what's your personality type again? Is it ENTJ?
ENTJ, you got it.
ENTJ. Okay, how did I know that? I did look at that at some point. So from your perspective, well, let me give the listeners a little background here. ENTJ personality type, that's one letter away from mine, right? I'm an ENFJ. So whereas I like to make decisions from my feelings, Len likes to make decisions from thinking, data, logic, that kind of thing. And that makes him super strategic, super analytical, right? Because he's part of the analyst tribe there with the intuitive thinking going on in his preferences. And he's probably a really great teacher, like a really great step-by-step how to, this is how you can get the job done kind of thing. So now with that overview, Len, from your perspective, what do you, like you just personally, okay, what do you find to be the coolest feature to date right now in Podia?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I think, first of all, you nailed exactly what types of products I'm far more likely to sell, because I did sell online courses and I still create online courses, and that's really my jam. My personal favorite feature would have to be, I mean, how do you choose a favorite child? But to me,
I know,
because we just released it, I'm so excited about live chat, only because, number one, it's so important for us. I think for so many of us who are in this business, we're not just selling a widget halfway across the world and no idea who we're selling it to, right? I mean, that's not what we wanted to do. That's not what we set out to do. But for so long, that's kind of what this thing has been. It's been, you don't really know a lot about who buys from you. You don't really know a lot about who's in your community. And we built live chat to flip that on its head, to say, no, you can have conversations with the people who purchase from you. You can have real-time conversations with the people who come to your store and who want to learn from you and who want to talk to you. And it satisfies a bunch of different parts of my brain, because I can collect data from that and I can make decisions based on what I learn, but also just this idea of learning about who my audience is and creating the best kinds of products for them based on what I learned. I think just makes live chat so powerful. So right now, that's my favorite. Ask me again in a week, it might be different, but for now, it's live chat.
That's fair. That's fair. So my favorite thing right now is, yeah, I'm totally flipping this around on me. You didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My favorite thing right now
I would love to know
is how you have the membership platform set up. It is so simple. It's so simple from my end, from the creator end, to set up. And it's so clean and inviting for the member. I don't know about you and listeners. I mean, I know everybody has a different opinion here, but I really don't like having to log into Facebook in order to access a community or a membership group. I just don't like it. It's too distracting and it's triggering and it's 2020 and I just don't want to go into Facebook. And that's me, right? So, but when you log into a Podia membership, you only see what you went there to see, right? You have all of your membership materials. Anything that you gain access to as a member of the creator's membership, you gain access to course modules if they give those to you, digital downloads. You gain access to all those materials. And you have this simple, clean feed where you can communicate directly with the creator, the membership host, and with other members in the membership. It's just so simple and clean, right? And I think that's for me, as I was thinking about, okay, what's my absolute favorite thing right now? Because I was thinking the same thing. It's like, oh, how do I choose? I think right now my mind and my business crave that simplicity and cleanliness and just minimal, like, okay, this is all I need right now. So yeah, that's my favorite. Do you get that from creators often, or I know I say it all the time. It's just so simple and clean, but do you get that from creators sometimes, that it's just a non-distracting platform?
We get that all the time, because whether you're running, a Facebook group where you're literally, there is no product on the planet that is more optimized to steal your audience's attention than Facebook. So whether you're competing with Facebook or, even some of these like WordPress membership plugins and things like that just look so cluttered and, full of content. I hear all the time that one of the people's favorite things about Podia is just being able to focus on the content that they want their members to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's great for the creator. And it's really great for the customer, the person in there that you're trying to serve. Like, it's a win-win, both sides. Yeah. So, on that note, listeners, we were just talking about the membership thing. So Len and I have been working on a way for you to not just hear us explain what Podia is like, because we're going to talk about Podia for the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be rad, and you're going to listen. It's going to be great. You can be on the treadmill, all good. But I also want you to actually experience it for yourself. So here's what we're going to do. I'm opening up a limited time pop-up membership on the Podia platform. Okay, so this pop-up membership will be open for just 2 weeks, from February 13th to February 27th, 2020. You can get in for free. I'm not charging for this. It's just a pop-up, right? You can get in for free by visiting marketingpersonalities.com/Podia pop-up. Okay. Podia pop-up. It's linked in the show notes. So if you're not sure how to spell it or whatever, just click the link in the show notes. Easy, easy. And once you get in, you'll be able to click around what I've set up for you and see what a Podia membership site looks like. And the way we have it set up right now is by being a pop-up member, you also gain access to see what an online course looks like and how that works in Podia and how digital downloads are offered. So cool, right? You can get in right now. It's open right now, as long as you're listening to this between February 13th and February 27th, 2020. So you can get in marketingpersonalities.com/Podia pop-up. And this is super cool. Something even better that Len and the Podia team are doing. Anyone who joins the pop-up automatically gets entered into an epic giveaway where one super lucky winner will get a whole year of Podia for free. You can sell all your digital stuff, your courses, your downloads, your memberships, and not pay to be on Podia for an entire year. That is wild. Len, like, that's bananas.
What?
Like, what?
That's crazy. And that's free?
Yeah.
All I have to do is join the membership. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for playing along here. Like, you didn't cook that up in your own head. Yeah. Seriously, thank you so much for hosting this giveaway. I mean, I wanted to do the pop-up membership, you guys. I thought that would be really cool, so you could get your hands on the platform and see what it's going to be like for your future customers to engage with you through Podia. But then, like, Len comes in with like, well, how about we give a year away? Wouldn't that be super cool? I was like, yeah, that would be super cool. So thank you, Len. Great idea. Can't wait to give this away.
I can't wait either.
So go to marketingpersonalities.com/Podia pop-up to get into the pop-up membership experience and to get your name in the drawing for one whole year of Podia for free. Amazing. So cool. So we're gonna end this first episode here. I think we gave you plenty to look forward to. And right now you're just like, oh my gosh, let me just go get into the pop-up. So yeah, go do that. But before we end, Len, hey, thanks for being here, man. This is fun.
Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
Yeah, so that's all for our first episode in this 3-episode series. Len and I will be back here next week to dive even deeper into how each personality type, because we've really got to talk about this now, how each personality type can use the Podia platform in unique and feel-good ways. So watch for that. And then in the meantime, I'll see you in the pop-up. All right, bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Marketing Personalities Podcast. Now it's time to connect your marketing strategy to your personality type. Go to marketingpersonalities.com/MPP to download your marketing personality type full report. Use the code MPP at checkout to get $10 off. And that's a super special code for podcast listeners as a way to say thank you for being here. In your full report, you'll learn about your personality type, how it relates to the work you do, what your best marketing strategy includes so you can start implementing it right away, what your worst marketing strategy includes so you can avoid it, and so much more. Go to marketingpersonalities.com/MPP to get your full report and use the code MPP at checkout to receive $10 off your purchase. And one more thing before you skip on to the next podcast. Would you please share this episode with your entrepreneur friends who also need to feel good about their marketing strategies? Take a quick screenshot of your podcast app right now and share it out via text, Facebook, or my favorite, Instagram. Remember to tag me at Marketing Personalities in the photo so I can be sure to send you a huge high five and thank you for sharing the love. This podcast is edited and produced by the Podcast Engineers. They're pretty great, and you can find them at podcastengineers.com. That's all for now. Thanks as always for listening, and I'll catch you back here next week on the Marketing Personalities Podcast. Love ya. Bye.